YouTube, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be very different. I'm going to be talking about what you should know before moving to Kent. I love these videos and I've seen them a lot, and I was actually inspired by Jade Van Riel. She done an amazing video about things you should know before moving to Essex, and I just thought, well, let me do one about Kent. I know a lot of people, especially in London, are slowly beginning to move out, and I know one area that people tend to move to, as well as Essex, you also have Kent. So if you want to find out more about Kent, stay tuned. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Jennifer Is On, and I'll be uploading twice a week, Wednesdays and Sundays, and my content will be fashion related, beauty, lifestyle, makeup. So if you are interested, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and for those who are returning, as always, thank you so much for watching another one of my videos. Kent is located in southeast England. Now, it is a county within England, but Kent sort of lies on the outskirts of London, depending on where in Kent you live. But Kent is actually southeast. People that live or tend to live around the southeast area, so for example, let's say like Peckham, Lewisham, Greenwich, people tend to move to Kent because it is kind of still southeast, but just on the outer skirts of London. Now, within Kent itself, there's so many areas within Kent that people can move to. So you've got Dover, you've got Ashford, you've got Gravesend, you've got Dartford, you've got Medway, you've got Strood, you've got Chatham, you've got Sittingbourne. There's so many different areas within Kent that people can move to. So if you are looking to move to Kent, there are so many different areas. A lot of people tend to move near London, so let's say like the Dartford or Gravesend, which is straight on the A2. If you guys are from the UK and from London, you know the A2 is the way that takes you to inner Kent if you're traveling from London. The first thing that I want you guys to know is that it's so commutable. So you have loads of trains that go into London. From Dartford, you've got trains that go into Charing Cross, London Bridge, just the main hub within London. If you are, living somewhere like Sittingbourne, again, you've got trains that go to Victoria. So it is very well connected. Now, if you are looking to drive from Kent into London, depending on where you live, you're looking at between 30 minutes to over an hour. It really just depends on where you live in Kent. Where I live in Kent, it takes about 30 to 35 minutes to drive into London. And if I want to take a train, there is a direct train that goes into sort of London Bridge, Charing Cross, Victoria, and there's even trains that go to Luton. But Kent is very well connected. So if you are someone that works in London or you've got family in London, getting from A to B shouldn't be a problem. There is also Uber here. Yes, there is Ubers here. Not as regular as you would find in London. So I do have to wait quite a while to get an Uber, but you do have Uber here. So if you are looking to sort of get taxis around and you want to get Ubers around in and out of Kent, then you can do. Also within Kent, you do have loads of buses that can take you around. In terms of how regular they are, it's not London, guys. I would say that if you do have a car, it would be beneficial. I think no matter where you live, if it's outside of London, it will always be beneficial for you to have a car, just because it's just easier to get around. I did go without a car for a while and I really struggled, but Uber enjoyed. So I would encourage you to invest in a car, especially if you're moving out of London. No matter if it's Kent, I just feel like anywhere outside of London, you will benefit from having a car. London is so, like, that's the city, so it's so easy to get to places and you've got a lot of things on your doorstep. But when you start to move out of London, it does get a little bit difficult when you want to, like, go shopping or want to just run to the shop. Things are a bit further away. Now, one thing that always worried me about moving out of London was how quiet it would be. So one thing I want you guys to know before moving to Kent, it is quiet. It is way quieter here. I can hear the birds chirping. I'm used to things being quiet. I don't mind it. Even though I grew up and lived in London all my life, coming to Kent, I was just a bit like, oh well. If you're someone that likes the hustle and bustle of London and that city life, moving to Kent can be a shock. But if you are actually moving out to get that type of peace and quiet, then Kent can give you that. Restaurants and food. And whenever I go to London and I go on my Uber Eats or I go on my Deliveroo, I'm so spoiled for choice. I'm like, what should I order? What should I order? Because there's just so many different restaurants. And in Kent, so you have a few Afro-Caribbean restaurants around Kent. Culture Kitchen, they sell Afro-Caribbean food. You also have The Lodge, which is a new restaurant, and they sell Afro-Caribbean food as well. And what I particularly love about The Lodge is that they also have Congolese food. I am Congolese, and it's so hard. It's it's so hard to find Congolese cuisine food that delivers. And she's just recently opened up, and she's actually based in Sittingbourne. So anyone who's Congolese watching this, if you live in Kent, you can definitely order from her. I'll leave her leaflet here somewhere and also her details down below. But she is doing deliveries, and when lockdown is over, she will be opening up a restaurant. Those are the main two places I like to eat from. If I'm gonna eat out, I'm gonna eat African food or I'm gonna eat Jamaican food, and that's it. If any of you guys are from Kent and you know any other Afro-Caribbean restaurants that I can eat from, please give me the drop in the comment section, because I'm always looking to support. So I'm going to talk about race, because I think this is really important, especially for ethnic minorities, in particular black people. I know a lot of people from London, especially black people, really hesitate to move to areas where they're not too sure of, or they feel like they're not going to see a lot of themselves. This was definitely a worry for me as well, being brought up in London. I'm from Peckham, guys. Like, everyone in Peckham is just black. Obviously now things have changed, but I've lived in Peckham all my life. So you've got like black people, Indian people, Asian people, white people. I'm used to seeing just every race under the sun. There are some places in Kent where there's not a lot of people that look like me or like us, but there are other areas within Kent where you would not even feel like you're in Kent. It just feels like you're in London because so many people are moving out, and they're people like me, people like you, like Asians, Indians, just loads of different races of people are starting to explore different areas. So I will say you need to do your research. Where I live, there's a lot of black people here. There's so many black people here. I don't feel like I've moved out of London. You should be free to move wherever you want, regardless of what type of race lives there or how you may feel. What's important is that you are happy and you are confident and sure within yourself. I haven't experienced any racism living in Kent. However, I will say that it does go on. I don't feel like that should deter you. I feel like wherever black people go, we're gonna be discriminated, because that is the world we live in, sadly. More of us are, you know, moving to different places and we're wanting different things for ourselves. You are that change. You're the one that's gonna make a difference, so never let anything like that deter you. Even areas in London, you'll see like some areas you've got more Indians, some areas you've got more Latinos, some areas you've got more blacks, you've got more Nigerians, you've got more Ghanaians. It just depends. Now, a lot of people assume that if you move out of London, especially Kent, or just any other area, but I'm talking about Kent, when you move to Kent, you're gonna get your money's worth. You're gonna have a big house for a really cheap and affordable price. No. No, you'll be surprised. There isn't much difference in terms of house prices. The average house price in Kent, you're looking at 350,000, 400,000, 500,000. If you want a flat, then you can get a flat from, you know, prices from around 170, 180, 200. I don't want people, and I feel like even me, I assume that, oh yeah, I'm gonna move to Kent and the houses are gonna be cheap and the flats are gonna be cheap. They are cheaper than London because London's just the houses are not that big. This is something that I found out recently. The houses outside look very big, but when you go inside of the houses, they're not too big. The rooms are not big, the kitchens are not big. And when you do find houses that are very spacious, it's because they've had work done. Another thing that you guys need to know before moving into Kent, this is for my ladies, is nail shops. Yes, I'm gonna talk about nail shops because nail shops is very important to girls like me, and hopefully girls like you if you are subscribed to my channel. There are an abundance of nail shops here, and what I like about Kent in particular is that there's a lot of different techniques and a lot of different like nail techniques that they do in Kent that they don't do in London. The first time I heard SNS nails was in Kent. My friends, work colleagues who lived in Kent actually told me that, oh yeah, like I used to be like, oh my god, your nails are so nice, and I'll be like, yeah, it's SNS, and I'll be like, S and who? I'll be like, S and what? I never knew SNS. All I knew was like acrylics and stuff like that. And if there is a new nail trend or a new way of doing your nails, you're gonna find it in Kent before it hits London. I'm not sure why. I do feel like the nail shops here as well are much cleaner. They care about hygiene here. I have been in certain nail shops in London where there's mice and rats running across, but in Kent the nail shops are very clean, very hygiene friendly. Polygel, they've got SNS, like those things you'll find in Kent. Shopping centres are really important, especially if you go out or you like to shop like I do. In London you've got Canary Wharf Shopping Centre, you've got Westfields, you've got Oxford Street, you've got Croydon, Bromley, so many shopping centres. There's a Zara everywhere, Topshops, well Topshop is closed now, but yeah, there's Topshops everywhere, there's River Island everywhere, there's Next, there's so many different places of where you can buy clothes. In Kent, it's a different story. You're not spoilt for choice. You do have a shopping centre in Bexley-Heath. You do have Bluewater. You do have Thurrock. There are shopping centres, but it's far, few and in between. Whereas if I want to go shopping, I'm gonna have to drive and go to like Bluewater or like somewhere in Essex, like Lakeside. Those are like the main shopping centres within Kent. Whereas in London, you just got so many places and little like sub areas of where you can find a little Zara, Miss Selfridges and like Warehouse and all that good stuff you're not gonna find here. So if you like to shop then that isn't something that you can do abundantly in and around Kent. The last thing that I will mention and what you guys should know before moving to Kent are ethnic minority hair shops. The Packs, the Julias, you're not gonna get it over here, okay? You're not gonna get it over here. For me to go to a hair shop, I still go into Peckham. I still go to Packs in Peckham to buy like my cocoa butter, my Dark and Lovely hair dyes and all of that stuff. It's really hard to come across here. If you are in places, for example at Bexley-Heath, I do know they have a hair shop. They've got like 1 or 2 hair shops here and there, but they're not in abundance compared to London. But if you are looking for some hair glue, honey, you're looking to buy a new just quick wig, or you're looking to buy, I don't know, like weave or expressions, it's so hard to find here. I still, like I mentioned, go back into London to buy my expressions, my hair cream, my edge control, my hair glue, my Dax, all of that good stuff. I still have to go into London. That is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If there's anything that I missed, please let me know in the comment section. Make sure you like this video if you liked the video, of course. Let me know if you want more videos like this, and for those who are returning, thank you so much for watching another one of my videos, and I'll see you soon. Bye. He don't know who he dealing with. Send me your text thread.